Hello, everyone. Hi there. Welcome to day 4. My goodness, day 4 of the Manifesting with the Moon workshop. We are just about done. Today and tomorrow is it. So join on in, say hello. If you are on the email list, getting the emails for this workshop, let me know what your answer or your reply is. Actually, just reply to the daily clue if you know it. If you have it, I am, as Facebook gets everything out and YouTube notifies people, I am finding us on the group or in the group so I can see comments. How are you all? How has it been going with the information that you've received so far? Have you tried any of it? Did you do any full moon forgiveness or gratitude? Hi, Rhonda. Good to see you. Did you do any of the thinking about what type of intention or what you might want to set or work on for your new moon intention at the next new moon? And did you treat yourself yesterday to a moment of luxury to start developing that abundance mindset and consciousness, right? Making it a habit workshop. There we go. There we go. Internet's working a little bit slow today. So we will see. All right, so welcome on in, guys. If you are just joining the workshop or someone invited you or tagged you and you're not quite sure what this is all about or who I am, my name is Patty Diaz. I specialize in helping you find and tap into your inner magic. And for me, magic consists of manifesting and the moon, abundance, gratitude, intention, and clarity so that you can create and design a life that create and live. Why do I get those mixed up? Live and create a life designed by you instead of one designed for you, and then rebelliously go out and live that life unapologetically on your own terms. That intro statement has some pretty key foundational words that really resonate with me. Rebellious, unapologetic, creating your own life designed by you. Those are my core kind of touchstones that I talk about. And I talk about the 5 components of magic and incorporating those into your life, using them to create that life that you want to be living. As a quick recap for the previous days of this workshop, day 1, we started with the full moon forgiveness and gratitude. Normally we start with the new moon information, but Monday happened to actually be the full moon. So we just went with it in real time. And then day 2, we talked about new moon information, new moon intentions. Yesterday, we talked about manifesting abundance with the moon. And the reason that I associate that with the moon is because we have to learn or develop a way of feeling abundant and tapping into our feelings, our emotions is what the moon is all about. Helps us do that. She's associated with emotions and all that good stuff. So here we go. Hi, Judy. Good to see you. Gretchen, hello. Congratulations, Gretchen. Got some good news. I saw a post today. Congratulations. So let's get going. Eric's taking off for the day. Let's get going. Today we're talking about practices to help you connect with the moon. So I have a bit of kind of like fast-paced information only because I'm going to talk about the 12 zodiac signs, and also because it will be quite fast, so we're not here super long. That printable with the different associations of the zodiacs and new moons is in the email today. It will go out in the recap email as well, and if you're watching inside the group, it is in the files section. So if you're not watching in the group or are not on the email, you can get on the email list, so you get all this information. And no worries if you don't sign up till today or tomorrow, because every day the recap email contains all of the information for the days before. That just made sense to me, so people could join in along the way, have access, and not have to go back and look or search for emails of previous days. So I am waiting for the link to pop up. Like I said, the internet's moving a little slow here today. Copy link address. So let me put that there. Get on the workshop. Oops. And thank you guys. I appreciate your flexibility and the different times this week. This is not normally how I do it. But like, again, I said that I messed up and did not block off the time for Tuesday and Thursday. I knew the workshop was happening, but I did not block it off and it got booked. So get on the workshop email list here. So thank you. Lesson learned. I will need to block it off on all on all resources or all avenues that people can get onto the calendar. So excellent. So we're good. So connecting with the moon, because that's what we're talking about, these practices to help us connect with the moon. Let me see if I wish I had I think I might be able to do this like a stand so I can actually read my notes without having to have them buried, if that makes sense. So connecting and working with the moon is really not a new practice, right? Hi, Marilyn. It's not new. Primarily women and some men over, have been doing this practice for thousands and thousands of years. And I said at the full moon circle that I co-host, an in-person one with a friend of mine this past Monday, that I think it's cool. Not only do we connect with the moon by working with the moon, following the lunar cycles, etc., we connect with our ancestors. We connect with history, because every single thing that has lived on this planet, people, plants, animals, organisms, everything, even the things that are not alive, so to speak, but I still feel they have energy, like rocks and things like that. Everything has been touched by the same moon that we're looking at today. So it connects me in a way with my ancestors, with history, with my, with my nana and all the things, because it's the same moon. We all look up, whether we work with the moon or not, we all see it. We're all touched by it. The same moonlight shines on all of us that, has for all these years that we've been in existence. Hi, Jacqueline. Thank you for joining today. I'm so excited to see you guys jump in. It makes me so happy. And of course, those on the replay make me happy as well, because that gives me a chance to come back and talk to you. Every organic being has energy. Absolutely, right? Everything has a vibration. I mean, like even the pen has a vibration. It's not a very high one. It's pretty low, but everything has a vibration. So absolutely, I agree. So working with the moon is not a new practice. It's something that we are reconnecting to as a whole a lot more currently, right, in these times than we have maybe. Remembering our magic and connection with the moon is what I wrote for that. So practices to try. Now, these are suggestions. I do all of these in some form or another. Does that mean I do all of them every day? Absolutely not. And I just reminded myself before I really dive in, pulling the card for today. Pulling the card for today. Pull a card for each day so far. You didn't, Marilyn. You know how my brain works, Marilyn. Sometimes it's not right at the beginning, but I get around to it. My brain just is like, and I'm so excited to be here. So, yep, I just looked at my notes and said that's one of the things. And, so here it is. That's just how I am. Imperfect, perfectly imperfect. Perfectly imperfect. And I'm good with that. So for those catching up, we are using, or I am pulling deck cards from the Moonology Oracle deck. I didn't even look at it. It just kind of slid out. Okay, it's perfect timing. They're all perfect, no matter what it is. The card that we have is the Waning Moon. What do you need to release? What do you need to release? And this is accurate, on point timing. We are now in the waning half of the lunar cycle. Like we talked earlier, from the full moon back down around to the next new moon, the moon is getting smaller in size. The energy is reducing. And so it is time. It is the time. The energy is in alignment with letting things go, releasing things. So what do you need to release? This could be a journal prompt. This could be something that might trigger an answer, a response in your brain, but that is the card for today. What do you need to release? And I'll stack it in there because tomorrow I'll pull a card and then we'll do all 5 cards for the week and see what the cohesive message is for the week. So practices to try. Let's start working our way through this. I do have some show and tell because that's just how I am. This is like a fun day. The first 3 days seem like mostly and primarily information. This is also information, but it's show and tell. So how fun is that? So first of all, try tracking the moon. Get in the habit of tracking the moon on a daily basis. The way I do this, oh, I have stuff on top, is there are apps you can use, or you can just, Google what phase is the moon in today. I know YasminBoland.com is one where she shares that information. She's actually the author of or the creator of the Moonology card. So her name is Yasmin Boland, and I believe her website is YasminBoland.com, or at least that will get you to her Moonology. There we go. Yasmin Boland. And so I don't know if the website is here. Do I see it anywhere? Oh, you can go is it or Moonology.com. Okay, so Moonology, just like this, Moonology.com, I think will also get you there. They might be connected, so I'm not sure. They will get you there. So track the moon, see what phase it's in. You might also see what zodiac sign it's in, because how we talked about the new moon is in a new zodiac sign or a different zodiac sign every month. The moon, we have a daily moon, because from new moon back around to new moon, the moon travels through all 12 astrological or zodiac signs every single month. So tracking the daily moon and the sign that it's in could help you with maybe setting your intention for the day, taking some action maybe that you need to be or want to be taking. For example, you can use a day where the moon is in Aries if you need to do something courageous, if you need to start something or want to start something, you can do it that way. So a good way, an easy way to do that is to, in your journal or your planner, your calendar, some calendars have this information already in them or written in them, but track down what phase the moon is in. And I break it just to the 4 main ones: new, waxing, full, or waning. So right now, if you were doing this for today, for example, I would write waning. And where is the tablet? So I can see, I can tell you, like, for example, if you wanted to start today, I could tell you what to write down in your planner, moon calendar. Here we go. So it would be waning, the lunar phase, and it is, the moon today is in, where is it today? Full moon phase. It's currently in Taurus. So today's entry would say waning, Taurus, and then is that all I wrote? Yes. Waxing, what phase, what sign, what day of the week. So today obviously is Thursday, and then you could use that to either tap into that energy for today. You could get in the habit of just seeing how the moon goes around and how your emotions relate or correlate with the different phases of the moon as you track it, right? It's not going to happen right away, but as you get in the practice, you start noticing some patterns. So writing that down in your journal or planner is a good way to start. And then here's the part that's going to go kind of rapid fire, but you have the printable for this, or you can get it in the group or on the email. We are currently in our sisterhood membership, which I mentioned and you have seen in the emails that go out. That is our monthly membership. Starting back in April, we started working through the zodiacs of the new moons through the zodiacs. And we started in April because Aries, which is in April, the Aries New Moon, is the first sign of the zodiac calendar. So we're working our way through. And the way we're working through that is looking at the specific energies of that zodiac sign to help us set intentions for that lunar cycle, or what energies of that zodiac sign can we tap into to further the intentions that we're working on. So for example, I'm just giving you some quick keywords to keep in mind, and you can, like I said, get the printable. Setting new moon. So new moon in Aries is a good time to set intentions or do things that require bravery, being brave, courageous, starting something new, a project, a long-term project, setting intentions for the zodiac year, what you want to accomplish or work on that year, and building courage, and getting started, just getting, how people say, get like that fire under your ass. That's what Aries New Moon will do for you. Set an intention for things that you need to get started, and then we'll start working on the action steps, right? Taurus New Moon, great time to work on your finances, like your financial plan. Maybe this time of year, the Taurus New Moon, you can check on, your budget, your financial plan for the year. Does anything need to be changed? Your investments or your savings, is it growing? Is it not? This is a good time because Taurus is that real stable earth energy that likes to be surrounded by its pretty things, its comfort things. So checking on your financial plan for the year. And you see how going through this every year, you have checkpoints that align with the energies of helping you do this. So we're working through every aspect of our life by working with the new moons. So if this interests you, our sisterhood is a great place to do that, because we have a new moon coaching call before the new moon to actually talk about the associations of that zodiac sign, what those associations and energies might be good for with our intentions. So if that interests you, check it out. Message me if you have questions, because we work through this in real time. We gather for new moons and full moons and work this stuff out, talk about it, see what's coming up, what's not coming up, what progress we have made. And there have been some amazing accomplishments, great things happening as we do this collectively. So back to Taurus, great time to work on your finances, cash, property, or possessions. That's that earth energy. If you have properties, investment properties, maybe now is a good time to start that project. Or even though Aries is good for starting, all new moons are good beginnings. So starting anything on a new moon is good, but then tap into that energy to see what might be especially good for starting. New moon in Gemini is good for working on your communication. And keep in mind that communication consists of speaking, writing, listening, seeing, right? All those things go into communication. So for example, this could be working on communication within a relationship, be it coworkers, partners, family members, or do you have something that you're wanting to communicate to the world? Start a business, share a project, create some art, and communicate through that art. So think of communication in the broad sense for Gemini. Gemini loves to talk. I am a Gemini moon, so I like to talk. I like to gather information, and I obviously am very expressive. I communicate well. That's my Gemini moon coming through. So new moon in Cancer is good for working things in your home life. Cancer and the moon go hand in hand. The moon is the celestial body, heavenly body that rules Cancer, which is again associated with our emotions. And Cancer is represented by the crab, right? So think of the crab in its home. That's where it likes to feel safe. So what can you work on in your home life? Do you need to spruce up your home space to make it more inviting, to make it feel more comfortable for you, to make it feel like a place you love to be? Do you need to work on activities with your family as a whole instead of doing things separately? So anything that is contained within your home life, how is it feeling? Does it need tweaking? Do you guys need to, revisit something, like maybe spending one night a week and having family dinner? Those types of things are great things to check in on in the new moon in Cancer. New moon in Leo is good for working on being creative and being visible. Now, that means I'm Cancer, all of it. Yes. All the feels, right, Gretchen? And that home life. Yes, that's, see, the stuff, there's something to it. There really is. New moon in Leo is good for being creative or visible. Think of Leo, the lion, the leader of the pride, being visible, but doesn't necessarily always mean being loud. It could be expressing creativity. How can you allow yourself to express creativity, to get more ideas, to nurture yourself, to give yourself the self-care that being visible requires, right? So it all works on several different layers. New moon in Virgo, good for being organized. That's the new moon we had just a few weeks ago. And I did set that intention to get organized and open up energetically for expansion, because expansion is my word of the year. So how can I expand, create room for expansion of my business? And I cleared off my desk. I cleaned off an area, and we're already past the full moon, and I have maintained it. And I'll show you why coming up next after, in another activity. So let me keep going. Libra is the next new moon coming up, the one that will be coming up in just under a couple weeks. Good for working on your love life and relationships in general. Libra is the scales, so if you feel like your relationships are off balance, out of whack, how can you work on that? Equitable, dividing, the chores, or how, is one person being heard more than the other, things like that. Also equitable within relationships at work. Is somebody carrying a heavier load than someone, not doing their fair share? If this is something that's bothering you, what can you do? Because we always look at what we can do, not changing other people. What can you do to better the situation? What ideas can you come up with? Set an intention to maybe get guidance for some creative solutions. How can this be more equitable, instead of just sitting in that, this really sucks and I don't like it? Okay, good. How can you improve the situation? Scorpio is good for working on making emotional connections, because Scorpio is a water sign. It's the middle water sign. So if you think of each sign as a top, middle, and bottom, Scorpio is right in the middle. So it sees the light up at the top, right? If you're thinking of a body of water, it also can see down deep in the murkiness of the water. And it likes to understand these things. So Scorpio really likes to make those connections with people before really kind of revealing themselves, their emotions, or their thoughts. So is there something that you need to work on to make an emotional connection with someone or yourself, right? Do you need to treat yourself better? Make that connection with your inner child, with your higher self. This is a perfect type of intention to set at a new moon, in making that connection with yourself. Spirituality, what your spirituality is, what resonates with you. Next is Sagittarius New Moon, good for manifesting travel, study, or opportunities. Sagittarius is that one with the arrow. So think of the arrow, being shot out for adventure, travel, gaining information, again, taking action, because it is a fire sign. So think of that. And then count your blessings to attract more blessings. Hi, Patty. Love to hear you. Awesome. Will there be a list of these moons somewhere? Tana, and I hope I'm saying it right. I know you've told me before, but I have too many other things that I'm trying not to remember. Montana, like Montana. Is that right? Montana. Hopefully that's triggering correctly. The list you can get a few different ways. If you are on the mailing list for the workshop, it is there. It will be in this morning's email and also in the recap email that's going out a couple hours after the live ends. If you are in the Manifesting with the Moon workshop or the group, the Facebook group, they are in there. If you are not on the mailing list or in the group, there's a link further up. I'm pointing up because I'm looking at the comments. There's a link further up that you can get on the mailing list. And if you don't see it or it doesn't show up, just comment and I'll tag you or I'll put the link under your comment after I'm done. But just let me know if you don't see it or if you're not in the group. So Scorpio is my sun, moon, and Mars. Oh my goodness, and Neptune. Yes, you have got some Scorpio, that deep connection that Scorpio sometimes is hard for me to get my head around and like, okay, what really are the keywords? I know it's that deep connection and sometimes wanting to get to know people so well that kind of despite the like empathic people have this where it's like they want to help someone that they get absorbed in those emotions even if they're not beneficial for the person. So just think of making those emotional connections, whether it be with yourself, with someone else, or improving or manifesting a situation, a good emotional connection with someone. That might be a better way to say it. Manifesting an emotional connection with someone. And we talked about Sagittarius. Capricorn is good for working on advancing your career, possibly starting a business at the Capricorn New Moon. Capricorn is like that mountain goat. So that is the energy of I'm just going to climb. I'm going to get to the top of the mountain before I get distracted by anything else. And once I get there, then I'll take a look around. Then I'll enjoy. But it's just like that. Get stuff done. Workhorses of the zodiac because they get stuff done. You know, thank goodness for Capricorns and Virgos, the organization and getting stuff done. Because otherwise we'd be up there, you know, we'd be here with not getting anything done, just being emotional and whimsical and just impulsive. So thank goodness for the Capricorn and the Virgo energy. A friend of mine said that recently, and I'm like, that's a good way to look at it. Thank goodness for them. Then comes Aquarius. Good for working on improving your social life, especially if you want to try new things. If you are in an area where you don't know many people, maybe you've moved recently, maybe you're in a school situation, living away from home. Maybe because of COVID, you really don't have connections anymore and looking for new ways to do it, be it virtually, be it different ways of doing things, places or gatherings that meet outside, depending on your comfort level and what the activity is, but finding ways to improve and make connections socially, having some fun. And then lastly, the new moon in Pisces is good for working on your spiritual practice, developing a spiritual practice. What is your faith? What is the thing that motivates you to, work with and connect with, a deity, divinity, just spirituality in general, be it, a specific deity like God or goddess or a pantheon. Some cultures like the Hindu culture has a pantheon. So what resonates with you? And it can be a combination of everything. It doesn't have to be one specific thing, but what is your thing? What is it? And it doesn't have to stay the same always. It can evolve. I think it should evolve over time. And if something is working for you in one season in life, maybe in another season, you're doing something different. Is it mostly being in nature for one, some part of your life? Or is it mostly finding a deity or a pantheon or something like that to work with and connect with and include in your spiritual practice? So you can do that, and hopefully that helped with It was very rapid fire, like I said, but the zodiacs, there's 12 of them and we can dive deep on all of them. So I tried to limit myself to some keywords, and I know that still goes on for a while. So let's now get to the show and tell stuff, right? So first of all, connecting with the moon doesn't really have to be, all that big, like a big thing, like setting new moon intentions or always tracking it and knowing where it is. Simply, you've seen me doing it all week long. I've been doing it, wearing jewelry. Like I have moon earrings, several pairs of moon earrings. I have many moon necklaces. So just wearing that, and just because you love the moon, making that connection, having that like a talisman, right? Anything can be a talisman. So if you love the moon and you're wanting to establish that connection with the moon, you can find some jewelry that resonates with you. And let's see, so that I don't go back and forth too much, I will talk about the different types of ways you can work with jewelry possibly. So like I said, I have, the things that represent the moon. I also have a Moonstone bracelet so that you can wear, and I do wear frequently. That, will help you. You can use that as a talisman, as a soothing stone, or a place to, when you're starting to get emotional or riled up, just remind yourself to touch that. It's got that feminine, calming, nurturing, intuitive energy of moonstone. So wearing that. Do I have anything else jewelry wise? I do have moonstone. Like I said, I have no shortage of them. And I thought I was so organized and it still got tangled. It still got tangled. So I'll just show you. I'll show you separately so that I don't worry, take up the time. I have a Moonstone necklace that's a pendant. You can see the other way. There we go. That's a pendant. So I have that. And then other, like this is the crescent moon, but like in agate crystal. So it can be any number of ways that you incorporate the moon with the jewelry or the accessories that you wear. I brought this. I don't think I've shown this one before, this method, but having crystals, like I just showed the moonstone, that are associated with the moon is a great way to do that. And also, if you have selenite, selenite is very common. It comes in so many different forms. It is associated with the moon, and it is a cleansing crystal. It self-cleanses, so you don't need to charge this under the moon. You can, but it's already got that. It's associated. It's got that energy, so it is opaque like that. It looks kind of like bark a little bit. I don't know if I can get that close enough to get clear. So they have, chunks like this. There are ones that are etched. This is also selenite. It's got the moon phases on there. I usually just have that right up there. And then this is a selenite tower. And what I do with this is every day when I'm done wearing them, I put my bracelets, my bead bracelets like this, I put it over the selenite tower. Sometimes it falls to the bottom and sometimes they don't, but that cleanses and recharges my bracelet every night. Now, I don't wear all of them every day. Sometimes it's based on color. Sometimes it's based on the energy, of the stones or the bracelets themselves, but they just hang out here. And so they're always charged and cleansed when I'm not wearing them. And you can use selenite like an energetic lint roller, if you will. You can clean your energy, right? You can just kind of wave it over you. You can wave it over your computer. If you have a small enough chunk, you can let it sit on your computer or on your nightstand, maybe to have kind of like that moon connection at night, maybe to help with your dreams. If that's what you're looking for, set that intention. But think of it as an energetic lint roller. It cleans other crystals. It cleans other things. Like I said, ourselves is like wash it down your arm and let it, can I get my wrist in? Like flick off the bad energy. It's like a wand. For people that do like tarot readings, like at fairs or, you know, parties, or as a profession, and you're doing in-person tarot readings, that's a lot of energy exchange, right? I have never done this because I don't do frequent readings like that, but someone recommended to have a slab or a piece of selenite, and have, like, you know, your shoes off while you're doing your readings, and have your feet just resting, you know, on the selenite, just kind of as to cleanse that energy, because there is definite energy exchange when you're working directly with people. And they also have selenite very frequently carved into shapes of the moon as well. And this could be used as a charging plate for other things. Let's just use something that's small enough. You could set crystals on it to charge as well, because like I said, selenite charges and cleanses other things. It does not need to, because of its properties and its energies. So there is selenite, which is a crystal specifically associated with the moon. And the other one I showed was the pendant, moonstone. And there's rainbow moonstone. I really think I'm organized, and then stuff gets tangled. This is also moonstone, and I will frequently hold on to this while, you know, I'm meditating, just to, you know, tap into my emotions. Help me tap into the emotions of things I'm visualizing or things that I want to call in or manifest. So that is, oh, did you see that? This one has some blue flash. I'm not sure if this one is the rainbow moonstone or not. I'm not that much of an expert. I know people who are, but I am not. And then this is another form of moonstone. It's got that black and white, and this is raw moonstone. So it comes in various shapes. And the last version I will show you of moonstone, and you can do this with any type of crystal as well, is find a smooth one. This is like a worry stone is what they call it. It's got that little indentation. This is a little one, but they have bigger ones, and you can use that, you know, like have it in your pocket. And when you get frustrated or you're noticing yourself, you know, have thoughts that you're not liking, that are not serving you, have the moonstone in your pocket or your purse and rub it. You know, let all that stuff out. Think of all that negative crud releasing through your thumb into the moonstone, and it, you know, it does not cleanse itself, but let it go out and then cleanse your moonstone on some selenite, or by, you know, smoking it with sage or Palo Santo, or putting it out under the full moon. So there's many ways to work with the lunar energy. And a couple other things, where am I at? Okay, so we're not too long. I'll show you some last few things to connect with the moon and to try is, first of all, lunar journaling. I believe this printable is either in today's email or it was on day one, but it's journaling with the moon, and this has the different phases of the moon and some journal prompts that you can work with at that phase. And if you search lunar journaling or lunar moon journal prompts, there's many out there. There's obviously not limited to one set, but see, so the hopes and dreams and wishes I want to manifest are, and that's at the new moon when you're setting intentions. So you could follow the moon through its phases and journal and see what comes up for you. And it's, even though they're the same journal prompts, you more than likely will have different responses each time you revisit it. There might be some aspects that are the same, but more than likely you'll have new experiences. You're a different person. It's a new lunar energy. So it's interesting to go back and revisit those prompts and then see how you progress through the various new moons. This is something that is called a Lunar Tracker, and this is in the printables for you today as well. And it's just a pie-shaped thing, a circle with 28, I believe it's 28 pie pieces. And this you can use to track anything at all that you want. Your moods, your habits that you want to incorporate, your sleep cycles, your emotions, you know, your energy level, Track your eating habits or your eating patterns when you're eating emotionally, right? Out of an emotional response to something. And so what you would do, the very basic form of doing that, is to write the dates either in the little circle pieces down here or along the outside or the outside, wherever you want. And then, so whatever date this is, let's pretend it was today for September 23rd. Whatever you were tracking, you could write what you're tracking in the middle. Fill it in either with a color. This is where you would create a key code down here. This color means this, or this, symbol. Or if you're tracking how much water you drink, you could, fill in a symbol, a little glass of water, or a check mark, or whatever it is that you want in the pie piece for that day. And so then if you're tracking something specific, like sleep patterns or moods or energy level, after about 3 months, you could lay these next to each other and see what patterns are emerging. Do you have more energy always at the full moon? Or are you someone where your energy peaks at the quarter moons or the new moons? And do you have a sleep cycle that is affected, that, where it's the new moons, you sleep more soundly or less soundly, or you toss and turn if that's the case? You can start to see the patterns with your moods. If you are someone who still, is on a menstrual cycle, you can track that to see how regular it is, how it correlates up with the moon phases. So you can use a tracker for absolutely anything you want. And I did mention earlier that I was going to show you how I do that. I realized that when I set new moon intentions, I did not have a way to touch base with my intention every day. So like I would set a new moon intention and then forget it sometimes, then come the full moon and I'm like, okay, it's the full moon. Did I do anything? Did I take any actions? What was my intention sometimes, to be quite honest? So I started using, I have it in a book that I purchased. I started using my Lunar Tracker to write down what I did, how I'm feeling about my intention that day. So, and you'll see it's not perfect. The new moon this month was on the 6th, September 6th. So I wrote, that's when I started cleaning off, clearing out space. So the 7th and the 8th and the 9th, I was still working on that stuff in different areas. And so I don't necessarily write on it every day, but I wrote stuff down, or like, was I successful in something? This was what did I do here? Working on sticking to time blocking my schedule. So that's when I did that, and I put the little arrow because I was working on filling in my calendar for time blocking and scheduling and managing my time. But by having that as a touchstone every day, it's like, okay, I'm actually touching base with my intention. Am I taking action? Is it still something that I want to be doing? Yes, because now I can say it feels really good the last just under a couple weeks coming out here in the morning and my desk is cleaned off. I take the time at night to wrap stuff up and put things away because of touching in, using the energy of the new moon, the Virgo new moon, to get organized, open up some energy and some space. And so it fueled that. I've tried this many times over the years. Now, will this be 100% stuck, implemented simply because I started it? Maybe, maybe not. But what has happened is that I now have a reference point because I have touched base with my intention every day and I can see the result. So if and or when I fall off of the bandwagon of keeping my area organized, I can say, you know what? It felt really good. I did it before and I stuck with it. So I know what it feels like and I'm going to get myself back on track. And that feels better, right, than saying, well, that was another failed attempt. No, it wasn't. What can I look back on and see what was it that derailed me? When and if that happens, I'm sure it won't be 100% the same all the time. What is it that got me off track? Was it something that happened? Was it that I started working longer, which is something I'm really working on not doing? working late, what did I start working longer, and I was just wiped out by the end of the night. I wasn't giving myself that space to do stuff I like. At the end of the night, I tried to do like my creative journaling or some coloring or something that I can maybe even work on my planner because I like decorating it. So I try to do something like that at the end of the night where I'm off the computer. I'm still, because I like to do things. I like to be active in that sense. So I'm winding down, but I'm off the computer. I'm doing something creative. And that is what fuels me. Not working up until right when I go to bed, which is something I can very easily fall into, because I'm like, oh yeah, even if it's stuff I love doing, like my business, I need to give myself that downtime. I need to give myself that space to unwind, to tap into and participate in the creative things that I love doing, which fuel more ideas, which help me feel rested and look forward to working my business and with people and doing stuff like this. Because I'm not just like, cramming everything in until, 10 or 11 at night and then just like crashing in bed. So last thing I will show you is, I did not share this with you because I did not create it, like in the sense of a printable, but you can find this in many places. You may be familiar with the practice of yoga, is it like a flow? I think that's what it's called, of sun salutation. There is also a moon salutation sequence or flow. And that's the name of it, Chandra Namaskar. I know I'm butchering that, but sun salutation, because it's associated with the sun, it's greeting the sun, getting you warmed up, getting you active, right? Moon salutation is designed to be more grounding, calming. So if you were doing this in a yoga practice, you would do sun salutation possibly to warm up, start getting the blood flowing, and then do your practice or your exercise, and then maybe wrap up with moon salutation, just slowing your breathing down, grounding you, connecting you, slowing you down. You could do this in the evening before bed. That's what I have been trying to do. And those of you who were here last time heard me say that I want to do it more at night. And have I done it? Yes. Have I done it every night? No. Right now, that's not an intention that I worked on. I fit that in. I realized that when I do stop though, when I stop working early enough and give myself the time to do the things I enjoy, I naturally tend to want, to just kind of ease into my night that way, into going to sleep by doing that. Not 100% of the time. And then the last thing you've seen me do as well is pulling cards on a daily basis that are moon themed. You could pull cards for the week. You could tap into like, how am I feeling today? Or what do I need to be on the lookout for today? Or simply just guidance for the day. Like, I just pull the cards that I've been pulling for us. What do I need to know? What's the message for today? And there are many, many moon-themed oracle cards. There are also moon-themed tarot decks. And I love tarot as well. I actually use tarot in my coaching with clients or working with people. I recently started doing that because I learned how to do it in another community that I am. So I use tarot in coaching to help guide me to the better questions to ask, or help whoever I'm working with find the information on their own. I sleep much better when I do yoga before bed. Yes, it's like that wrap up, that wind down, right? I heard quite a long time ago, I think, at least several years ago, that setting an intention for yoga or any physical activity that you do, right? Because I tend to do either yoga or Pilates, and then my cardio that isn't covered by that, because that can be cardio as well. I do like dancing, like Tuesdays, Thursdays, and a day on the weekend. I do like a dancing workout because I just, dancing is fun. I love dancing much better than, jumping jacks or running. It's fun cardio because, get your heart rate and you're having fun and you're dancing, listening to music, love following along on the videos. So yeah, setting an intention to simply move energy in whatever form of exercise that you do was like it opened up. Like, it's like, oh, of course, I can simply set the intention to move this energy out. Like if it's a funk that I'm in, or even if I'm like over hyper and wanting to go to sleep, like Jacqueline says, winding down, let this energy go so that I can then sleep calmer and fall asleep faster. So yes, I agree with you, Jacqueline. I think the more that I give myself this space and stop working earlier and do the things that I like, I think that will naturally happen more often. And if it doesn't, I can then check in with myself and say, okay, maybe this is an intention I need to set so that I can become that process of becoming that I talked about at New Moon Intentions. I can become a person that just does this, that this is routine, this is habit. This is simply part of my nightly routine. So I don't typically have a problem sleeping anyway. I'm one of those that I love doing what I'm doing. Like when I'm working or doing something, I really want to keep doing it. No matter how late it gets, I want to keep doing it. And I was like, I'll stay up, I'll finish this. But then when I'm sleeping, I really love sleeping. And then getting up, it's like, oh, but I'm sleeping. I just want to be here and keep doing this. So it's like whatever I'm doing, I'm loving it sometimes. So I realize I need to rein myself in a little bit with not working late and giving myself that free space, that white space at the end of the night. Staying asleep. Yes, I don't have a problem with that, but Eric does. And that's interesting for me to see, experiencing that, because he sometimes has trouble falling asleep and then staying asleep. Like you said, Judy, if I wake up in the middle of the night and either go to the bathroom or turn over or whatever, I have no problem going right back to sleep. But he can't. So I can now relate to that from not myself, but living with someone that does. So yes, you could set that intention to find the practices that will help you stay asleep. Wind down enough, clear your mind or slow your mind down enough to allow yourself to stay asleep. And all these things can be accomplished by working with the moon, following the lunar cycles, seeing how it actually relates to you. Because just because everyone else that you think everyone else has energy at the full moon, but you don't, that's your personal rhythm. That's your personal connection with the moon. See, it's not the same for everyone, nor should it be. So that's what I have for you guys today. The activity, the workshop activity is to pick one from the list that we talked about, or if you have your own, share it in the group and maybe someone else will want to try it. So the activity is to pick one of the an activity that will help you connect with the moon and see how you're going to incorporate it. If it's a lunar tracker, what are you going to track? If it's a crystal, are you going to carry it? Are you going to use it as a reminder, put it on your workspace to help the energy of your workspace? Find your thing and how you're going to use it to connect with the moon. And the journaling exercise is write a letter to the moon and let her know how you would like her to help you feel, or tell her what you're feeling, how you're feeling. And that can be good. Like if you're feeling great, I'm feeling great. I had such a great experience, or I had a great conversation with someone and that just boosted my energy. So it doesn't always have to, like when people say, tell me how you're feeling, it has that connotation of like, well, I'm not feeling that great, or I'm not doing well. But it also is tell the moon the good stuff. And the moon is a great, great receiver of your information. You don't get judged. You don't get that pushback, but you get guidance. She helps you tap into and really connect with your emotions. And you don't have to worry, just tell the moon anything you want. No judgment, or, if you're scared to tell someone something, or there's a conversation that feels a little intimidating, practice having that conversation with the moon, because that helps you, that helps your body. You'll see how your body reacts to it. You'll see where you feel that tension and that nervousness by practicing it ahead of time. And even though it might still not be an easy or smooth conversation, you will be better prepared because you know how you'll react. You know how to, when you notice that tension, you can take a breath, or if you get sidetracked or get off track, you can have like a worry stone to hold on to or to rub in your pocket. So you see how this can infiltrate through all areas of life, because our emotions are such guiding forces, right? Our emotions dictate our actions. Our emotions, if we're excited about something, we'll go do it. If we're dreading something, we avoid it. So see how they're guiding how we act, the actions we take or don't take. And so this is the process of learning how to work through them, learning how to experience them, and still doing the scary things, doing it scared, working through the fears. Where is that fear story coming from? Is it actual fact or is it a story? So all this stuff, that's why I include all this with working with the moon, because it's just, it can touch and be associated with every aspect of your life. So that's what I have for you today. I do invite you, if this is something that is resonating with you, either message me if you have questions, reply to one of my emails about the Moon Magic and Manifesting Sisterhood. That is our monthly membership community. And briefly, so that I don't stay too long here today, what is included in the sisterhood is, in the dedicated Facebook group, I actually pull a card for you every day and provide a journal prompt. So I use a different deck every month. So there's a card posted and a journal prompt, which you can use in whatever fashion works for you. You can use the prompt, or if the card inspires a specific prompt for you, go ahead and use it that way. And I change things up. Sometimes I write an actual journaling question. This month, the cards that I'm using have words at the bottom that go with the meaning of the card. And so what I did was, all I did is I put the same 3 words and use that as scripting. Or when you see or write this word, what starts to come up for you? So it's different ways that you can incorporate journaling, and you get a card pulled for you every single day, and it's in the group. Secondly, we have our new moon and full moon manifesting circles. I set them up like girlfriends gathering in a living room, even though it's a virtual living room right now. I don't follow a structure, so to speak, and we talk about what's going on. Some people sometimes simply listen to what's being said. Sometimes people lead different practices or read prayers or sayings. Sometimes we talk where it's simply just talking, like a bunch of girlfriends getting stuff out, airing things out. And so that's how I set them up, because that's how I like to participate in them. So that's new moon and full moon. Then we also have our new moon coaching call, which is what I talked about with the zodiac list, new moons through the zodiac. And no worries if you're not joining at the Aries New Moon, because the information is in there and it repeats every year. So every year we're going to have an Aries New Moon. So jump in where you are. We will be talking about the Libra New Moon at our next coaching call, which is next week. So there's that. I am now adding a resource library. This is a brand new feature. The resource library of courses or classes or things that I no longer use publicly. The first one that I will be adding is my Journal Your Way to Happiness Challenge. Some of you here participated in that a couple years ago. That is now going in the resource library of the sisterhood. So you can try those journaling practices, check back on that, and do it at your leisure. Come back and revisit it anytime you want. And then we also have a quarterly Be Do Have call. And that is at the first month of each quarter. So the next one's coming up in October. And that is designed to help you set goals in 90-day increments, 1 quarter at a time. Who do you want to be? What do you want to have? And what do you want to do? Be, do, have. What of those will you be working on? Manifesting this quarter. So breaking it down into quarters is so much more manageable and feels more attainable than doing it for the whole year. You can have a big goal for the year, then break it up into pieces and check your progress as we go through. So that's coming up in October, the quarterly Be, Do, Have call. And then also, as a member, you will get a membership discount for any workshops or courses or anything that I do offer publicly outside of the sisterhood. That comes with a membership discount. So, and then you can also go on and have like individual, which will be also added this time around, individual coaching with like that tarot coach that I talked about. I will be adding that feature. So right now it is at $22 a month, which is awesome because you have all these resources. You use what you want. Some people strictly love the cards. Some people love the journaling. Several of us, are regulars there on the new moon and full moon circles. And I also have a magic coaching call where we talk about all things magic, manifesting in the moon, abundance, gratitude, intention, and clarity. We've talked about things like signs, who believes in receiving signs from the universe and how have you received signs and ways to look for signs. We've talked about calling our energy back when we're feeling depleted and how to call our energy and maintain and support our energetic wellness, right? So we talk about all those things in the magic circles. And then that's it for now. So the what did I say? The resource library, and then also I have to go back and see. I didn't jot it down. There was 2 things that were being added. And so right now it's at $22 a month. It will stay that rate through at least the running of this workshop. And I believe through October. I said because I have too many other things that I don't want to up the price. So that will be the price, but it will be going up, especially when those additional resources start getting added. So thank you guys so much for being here. If you have questions, again, message me here on Facebook, comment on YouTube, reply to any of the emails, or simply message me through Messenger, if you're not even on the email list or anything. So I am here to help. I'm here to answer questions if any of it didn't make sense. And it is recapped in the emails as well. Tomorrow, day 5, last day, we will be talking about working with the moon as part of your spiritual practice. How to possibly make that a spiritual practice or incorporate it in a spiritual practice that you already have. And again, I love that. A little bit of show and tell, not as much as today. So thank you guys for being here. Love you lots. And I will see you tomorrow. Take care, guys. Have a good one.